Brothers, something big just happened on JD.com. What is it? The unit price has dropped.
1块钱一单了。
The price per order is now almost 1 yuan. You heard right, 1 yuan per order. Today, a particular food delivery platform recorded its lowest order revenue ever, with each order earning only 1 yuan.
天塌了，兄弟们！
The sky has fallen, brothers. Just now, at the peak time, a 1 yuan order appeared in the lobby. I was thinking about grabbing it, but it was snatched instantly. Have they completely lost their bottom line?
全网最低单价来了。
There are now the lowest prices nationwide. For example, JD.com is offering 1 yuan per order, delivered to the 5th floor. Jiangsu is offering 2.2 yuan for 2 orders. Guangdong is offering 2.6 yuan for 2 orders. I want to ask, which nationwide platform offers lower prices? I also want to ask JD.com, do you consider your delivery riders as partners? With winter approaching, who would like to take orders at 1 yuan per order? This is clearly exploiting the riders' labor. I hope everyone will stop unthinkingly competing and unite to resist the platform's unreasonable practices.
如果说你们近期有
The food delivery business is dead. Guys, if you're considering delivering food anytime soon, I strongly advise you not to. There are absolutely no orders.
送外卖这条路已经
The food delivery industry has become incredibly competitive, with many saying this year, if I can't find a job, I'll become a food delivery driver. But the reality is, this path is quickly becoming unsustainable. The space for relying on food delivery as a fallback option is rapidly shrinking. The landscape of China's food delivery industry has completely changed. Orders are ridiculously cheap, and riders work tirelessly for meager wages. A single order might cost just over 1 yuan, a delivery fee that's disproportionate to insurance and other operating costs. This reality has plunged countless people who thought they could make a living through food delivery into dire straits, and has put the industry's sustainability to an unprecedented test.
比如这个6单6块
The platform's current order rates are so low they're unsustainable. For example, 6 orders cost 6 yuan, averaging 1 yuan per order. 2 orders cost 2.8 yuan, averaging about 1.4 yuan per order. And some orders even earn less than 1 yuan. At these rates, earning 50 yuan a day is extremely difficult. Because the income is so low, many riders are choosing not to accept these orders, resulting in a large number of orders being allocated to other platforms. Recently, the platform claimed this was a system problem, but many people can see that it's actually a stress test to observe the minimum acceptable income level for riders. Netizens questioned, isn't any regulatory department going to do anything about this? Now it's only 1 yuan per order. A rider has to work at least 5 hours a day to earn 30 yuan. A pack of cigarettes costs over 20 yuan, a bottle of water costs 5 yuan, and a meal costs another 20 yuan. They're practically losing money. Netizens urged everyone to stick to their bottom line. Another netizen pointed out that since LME launched its flash sales, Meituan has completely stopped accepting orders. He said he's been a delivery driver for 2 or 3 years, and this year has been the hardest. He specifically went out during lunch hour rush expecting the most orders. Still, the pay was outrageous, 3.8 yuan for orders a few kilometers away, and only 3.3 yuan for orders going into the city. How are delivery workers supposed to survive with such low prices?
现在的外卖哈
Doing food delivery is becoming harder and harder. The JD platform has been consistently cutting costs, driving down competition. Based on the current situation, their approach is to keep reducing delivery fees until riders can barely earn anything. Some orders now pay only 1 yuan. With income this low, it's impossible to make a living. The payment for a single order isn't even enough to cover the electricity needed to charge an e-bike. If you rent batteries, the battery fee isn't covered either. And if you ride a gas scooter, the income doesn't even pay for the fuel. Whether you're doing crowdsourced delivery or working as a dedicated rider, the most obvious feeling everyone shares now is there are fewer and fewer orders. The reason is simple. In the past, the delivery industry relied mainly on professional riders. But now, many small business owners and shop operators who can no longer survive have also joined the delivery workforce. Competition in the industry suddenly skyrocketed. More riders, fewer orders, and orders spread thinner and thinner. On the other hand, consumers are also tightening their belts and no longer ordering takeout as casually as before. Many people have started buying groceries and cooking for themselves. Each meal saves a few yuan, and over time it adds up. This directly leads to another decrease in order volume. So everyone really needs to think carefully about whether there are other industries or alternative paths that they can provide a stable income. You can't cling to food delivery as your only option. Delivering food is no longer a long-term livelihood one can depend on. Moreover, once robots, AI, and drone delivery become widespread, competition in food delivery will only become fiercer. Many people believe that by then, platforms won't need nearly as many human riders, and life for food delivery workers will become even harder.
现在的外卖真的不是人干的。
Doing food delivery nowadays is truly exhausting. Today, I met a rider who delivers for JD. I originally wanted to ask him whether switching platforms might be better, so I asked him about his situation, and the answer was more than I expected. He said he delivered more than 30 orders yesterday and only earned a little over 100 yuan. JD's current system is highly unreasonable. For all bundled orders, you can't see the actual income when accepting them. You only find out how much you earned after completing the delivery. The overall income is unstable, while the workload is hefty. It's tough for anyone to endure this long term. Netizens explain just how far platforms are now willing to push prices down. Orders paying only 0.1 yuan, 0.2 yuan, and sometimes even 1 or 2 yuan are no longer shown with their actual prices at all. Why? Because the platforms know these rates are already so low that they can't be shown publicly without embarrassment. What's even more outrageous is that these ultra-low price orders aren't optional, they're forced assignments. Orders are directly dumped into the rider's pickup pool, and no matter how ridiculous the pay is, riders have to accept them. Riders have no right to reject orders. Why? Because platforms also impose strict requirements. You must complete 30 orders a day or stay online for 8 hours. If you fail to meet these metrics, you're considered not to have met the standard. It doesn't count as a workday, and you will lose all attendance and subsidies for that day. So, this has led to the current situation. Many people no longer want to do the job, but they have to keep going because if they don't, there's no income. They can't even maintain the bare minimum for living. One rider told me very bluntly, those delivering for JD now are all forced into it. Most riders have already quit, leaving only those who must support their families holding on, gritting their teeth and pushing forward under exploitation. Even more frightening, LME has cut delivery times down to just over 20 minutes. Who is responsible for the rider's safety? Today, an image was widely shared online. It was a notice addressed to food delivery riders. The notice stated that because winter has arrived and to ensure that customers can receive hot meals, the company has decided to shorten delivery time limits. During the off-season, when order volume is low, the original minimum delivery requirement of 30 minutes has been adjusted to 22 to 25 minutes. If riders cannot deliver within this time, they must modify their e-bikes themselves. If they are unwilling to change, it is recommended that they leave the job, as the company believes this industry is not suitable for such employees. The notice has concluded that if you don't do it, many others are willing to take your place. The blogger asked several city delivery managers and concluded that nationwide delivery times have indeed been shortened by about 3 minutes. Officials say this is to ensure a better customer experience. But the question is this fair to the riders? You keep squeezing delivery times, but who is responsible for riders' safety? Have you considered that this means restaurants can't strictly control preparation time, and riders must go full speed? They face risks like running red lights or squeezing into elevators. Not to mention the practical limitations of some residential areas, elevators, or hospital corridors. If the people making the rules have never done delivery work, they might not understand that just over 20 minutes really means. And if they do know but don't care, then riders are being treated as data or tools, not human beings. The blogger is very worried that this trend of shortening delivery times for customer experience will be followed by other platforms, creating a vicious cycle. From 30-minute deliveries to just over 20 minutes, and eventually even shorter. Riders will become increasingly unsafe, risks will rise, yet penalties for being late and account suspensions will remain in place. Today, I want to share my actual experience of delivering food. From the moment I checked in with facial recognition, the entire workflow is dictated by the system. The navigation tells me where to go, and I have to follow it, no deviations allowed. Before I started delivering, I thought this job just meant riding around, free and easy. But once I actually did it, I realized it's not like that at all. The whole process is tightly constrained by time and routes, and the pressure is far greater than I imagined. Every single order involves waiting in line and waiting for elevators, and in some places you have to climb stairs. Whether picking up food from the restaurant or delivering it to the customer, you may end up walking thousands, even tens of thousands of steps in a day. New riders unfamiliar with the area are more likely to take unnecessary detours or get lost. Throughout the entire day, your mind is intensely focused, as if every minute is spent calculating speed and distance. Facing overtime penalties and battery consumption, you're forced to choose. Either take it slow and waste time, or speed up as much as possible until your e-bike's battery is down to the last bar.
和大家说一下，跑外卖已经20天了。
I've been delivering food for 20 days, and I want to share my experience. This industry is really tough, and every food delivery worker works hard. Many people wouldn't take this job if they didn't face difficulties or had other options. Delivering food requires completing tasks within a limited time, which is stressful and comes with safety risks. I hope everyone can show more understanding and respect and be more considerate toward delivery riders. Netizen said that encountering good customers or fellow workers is really heartwarming. They give likes or tips, which makes you feel really appreciated, but dealing with demanding customers can be frustrating, and even minor issues can cause big trouble. One netizen shared that he does crowdsourced delivery starting around 5:30 p.m. and usually finishing around 9:30 p.m., earning about 50 to 60 yuan. On rainy days, the number of orders is sometimes slightly higher. Every day is challenging work. The current state of the food delivery battle can be summed up in one sentence. Merchants are exiting in large numbers, and employees' incomes are continuously shrinking. The government subsidy battles amounting to tens of billions were carried out with great fanfare, but once they ended, what remained were the frontline workers who had been hit the hardest. The restaurant owners are struggling to stay afloat. From financial reports, it's clear that the platform's lives are far from easy. Meituan's operating profit from food delivery plummeted 98%. Alibaba's local services profit dropped 14%, and JD's food delivery suffered a loss of 14.7 billion yuan, wiping out all the profits from logistics and retail. The ones who feel the impact most directly are the frontline employees working desperately every day.
某平台一线员工李雷对村长表示
A frontline employee, Li Lei, reported to his supervisor that ever since the company fully invested in the food delivery business, the group has implemented stricter attendance and penalty systems across all departments. In his logistics department, working hours have been extended, the scope of fines has expanded, and the amounts have increased. The original 8-hour shifts have been voluntarily extended to at least 12 hours since this year. Li Lei said that since the beginning of the year, his daily routine has basically been from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. On weeks with a regular Tuesday meeting, he often doesn't finish work until after 10 p.m. In addition, his available vacation time is now less than before. Delivery workers revealed that during this year's National Day holiday, the company officially allowed a 7-day break. Still, in reality, unless there were exceptional circumstances such as a marriage or illness, most employees could take only 3 to 5 days off, at most 5 days. An employee in the logistics department of a food delivery platform stated that the previous accountability system, in which the employee primarily responsible would bear 30% of the cost for damaged or lost items, has been abolished. The new system relies on network monitoring to detect violations, followed by spot checks by temporary staff. Once a breach is detected, the records from 3 hours before and after the incident are reviewed, and all complaints during that period are attributed to the violating employee. A single violation could involve 50 to 60 orders, and compensation is now structured as follows. For amounts under 200 yuan, the employee pays in full. For amounts over 200 yuan, compensation is based on the insured value. Penalties for lost items are even harsher. If the outer packaging is only damaged but the customer insists that items are missing, the employee must pay in full for amounts up to 1,000 yuan and 30% of any excess. Han Meimei helplessly said, "This year deductions have been especially severe. After calculations, my take-home income is roughly 20% less than before. Most of the money deducted is issued at the platform's large value vouchers." As another group of losers in the subsidy battle, restaurant owners are also suffering greatly. They have found that 75% of new orders are low-price subsidized orders with actual payment under 15 yuan. For example, the owner of a Korean restaurant in Hernan explained, "A bowl of ramen costs 10 yuan to make and is sold in store for 17 yuan, with a gross profit of 7 yuan. On the platform with packaging and delivery fees, the price is set at 28.8 yuan, but after the user applies an 11 yuan subsidy, they only pay 17.8 yuan. The restaurant has to bear the 7 yuan subsidy and then deduct a 23% platform service fee, leaving them with just 11.33 yuan, a gross profit of barely over 1 yuan. He tried turning off the subsidy and daily orders dropped from over 30 to single digits. Turning the subsidy back on brings orders, but no profit. Outsiders believe the subsidy war is eliminating restaurant operators at an unprecedented pace. According to data from the Red Restaurant Research Institute, the average lifespan of a restaurant has dropped from 2.1 years in 2015 to only 15 months today. There's a strange phenomenon going around. Many food delivery workers aren't incompetent. On the contrary, many are as good-looking as celebrities, humorous, tactful, efficient, and quick-witted. Many questions arise. Why do these young people choose food delivery? Why don't they start their own businesses, learn a skill, or pursue other careers? As one blogger observed, the real issue isn't their inability, but rather their heightened awareness of the harsh realities. Starting a business isn't as simple as wishing, running a business isn't guaranteed to be profitable, and learning a skill doesn't immediately bring in income.
年轻人不傻。
Young people aren't unaware of reality, they're simply faced with clear choices. The current job market is limited, and many can't find stable employment, so they choose food delivery. Food delivery provides immediate income, at least enough to cover basic living expenses. If someone calls it a trap, the real issue for young people is the lack of other viable options. Overall, this isn't a passive trap, but a rational decision made under challenging circumstances. The blogger summarizes, starting a business requires investment, rent, and payments for goods. Failure can lead to debt, but delivery offers same-day payment, preventing overnight financial ruin. Moreover, cash flow is the most significant risk. Entrepreneurship isn't just about working hard, it's about constant bills, unstable income, and interest payments that can drive people to desperation. Many people aren't incapable of doing it, instead, reality can't support their dreams. Some people dare to start a business because they have connections to back them up. They themselves have no money, and their families have no money either. Ordinary young people can't afford to lose. Furthermore, many people aren't unwilling to learn skills or open a shop. They've thought about it, even tried, but reality has forced them to prioritize survival. The blogger mentioned that his current delivery drivers include former business owners, white-collar workers, and even those with master's degrees. Many are intelligent people. Still, the current economic climate is so harsh that they have no choice but to become delivery drivers. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.